Thanks for joining us for more lessons in English and math skills. I'm Hazel McNeil Darby. Today we'll be looking at flowcharts. So what is a flowchart? A flowchart is a picture of the separate steps of a process in order from start to finish. So it's sequential. You must write it in order. It arranges activities, therefore, in a proper sequence, and it is used to communicate to others or to document how a process is done. So we draw arrows to show the flow of the process, and we include decisions that must be made. When do we use a flowchart? If you want to develop understanding of how a process is done, to study a process for improvement, so you want to make some changes, to communicate to others how a process is done. Also, when you want to communicate a little bit more, when you want better communication is needed between people involved in the same process. So it's a way of sharing. Of course, you're documenting the process, and if you are planning a project, that's a good time to do a flowchart. Now, these are the symbols that are used in flowcharts. There are 5 main symbols for the simple flowchart. There are some other symbols that are used as well. Let us look at each one. By name, the oval is the start-stop button. The process is a rectangle. Decisions use a diamond, what we'll call a diamond. If you are showing the direction of your flow, you use an arrow. And then if you want to input or output data, you use the parallelogram. So let us look at them in more detail. As we said, these are what they are for. So the rectangle in particular, let's take a closer look at that one. So it is a step in the process to be done, which is different from the rectangle, from the parallelogram that looks at the input and the output of data. So if I'm choosing a number, then that would be something to start me off. That's not part of the process per se. So the rectangle is used for the process, for the task that is to be done. And you write the steps in the box, and only 1 hour goes from the rectangle. On the other hand, the diamond, where we have our decisions, more than 1 arrow goes from the diamond, right? Usually these questions, the decisions are yes/no questions, and you write the questions in the diamond. So, have you ever tried to shop online? Here we are trying to communicate to others how a process is done, and we want to document what we are doing. So your supplier, the person you're buying from, might want to document the process and want to communicate to you how the process is done. So we start. You select your item. So we need some arrows to say that we are going from start, selecting the item. And then once you've selected your item, you know you add it to your cart. Then a decision. Do you want anything else? Notice the diamond. Your answer could be yes. In that case, what would you do? You go in one direction. If your answer is no, you'd go in a different direction. So let us follow the yes. You want something else, so you go back, you select your item, you add it to the cart, so you have created a loop. Want anything else? Suppose your answer is no this time, then you go to checkout. Of course, if you want more items, then you loop again. And then that's the end of it. Suppose you want to watch a movie. It might look something like this, your flowchart. You choose a channel. You watch a show. Are you enjoying the show? What happens then? If your answer is yes, then you stop. Right? Stop looking for your show, right? You've chosen your channel. You're watching it. You're enjoying it. You stop. Suppose your answer is no, then you loop. You go back and choose a channel. Start watching the show. And if you like it, then you stop the process that you are doing. So let us look at the parts of the flowchart for the movie time. Remember, these are the symbols that we use. Do you spot them in the flowchart? That one is the start. Notice the arrows tells the direction. The Parallelogram, which one is that now? We're putting in some data. I'm choosing a channel. I've not started the process of watching the movie yet. Watch the movie. Which one is that now? That's a process. I'm doing something. I'm watching the movie. Are you enjoying it? That would be our decision. Yes, stop. In other words, stop the process of trying to find a movie. If you decide that you're not enjoying it, then you would say no, and you would loop and choose another channel. Okay? So the decisions for yes or no will determine whether you stop or you loop back. All right, let's look at this now. This is more along the line of math, and we have done this maybe as a game. Think of a number. All right? Start. Notice that our arrows are decisions. Think of the number. That's your input, right? You haven't actually started doing anything with the number. Double it, that's a process. Add 4, which one of them would that be? That's still a process, right? Record the two numbers as ordered pairs. Which one is that now? That would be your input. You're writing down something, you're not really adding to the process. You're recording what you have done. Time for a decision. Do you want to do another one? In other words, do you want to think of another number? That would be your decision. If you don't, then you stop, right? Suppose you say yes, then what happens now? You loop back and you think of a number, okay? All right, let's look at some sample questions. So this is the sample City and Guilds question. Let's look at the question and see if we understand what it is asking. So a customer has an account but does not know the account number. Which buttons should this person press? All right. So at the start, notice they have used a rectangle for the start. We usually use the oval, but they have used a rectangle. So the first, it's a decision. Do you have an account? What did the information says? The customer has an account. So which direction would you go? We would go with yes. Do you have the number? Let's go back. No, they don't know the account number. So that would be a no. So which button should you press? B. So what's the answer for the first decision? It is yes. So once you have said yes to the first decision, then what do? You can blank off the other side of the step. What about the next decision? Here's the next decision, right here. The second decision, box. What's the answer? We said that that answer was no. He doesn't know the number. So therefore, he would press B. All right. Here are instructions for choosing coffee from a machine. Which button must be pressed for white coffee with no sugar? So we're starting with, after the start, we have a decision. Do you want black coffee? Is it a yes or no for this one? Okay, we want white coffee, so we do not want black coffee. So then, what's the answer to the second question? We're going down. We do not want, do you want black coffee? White coffee. Do you want black coffee? Should that have been yes or no? This should not have been a yes question. Okay, our answer was no. Let's see where we go. Okay, and then, do you want sugar? No sugar. So the answer again is no. So would we press A then B? Do you see why I would press A then B? Do you want black coffee? No. we want white coffee, so we'd press no. So we'd press A, and then we would still have to press button B to get our sugar. All right? Here's another question for you. This is another sample question. So these are instructions for sorting shapes. Which box should a circle go in? So we start with take a shape out the box, and then we have a decision. Does the shape have 3 sides? What would your answer be? Would a circle have 3 sides? No. So we would not take the yes route. What's the answer for the second decision? The decision is, does the shape have 4 sides? Have 4 sides? The answer again is no, so we're still going straight down. What does it say here? Place in box B. So let's start again. Does the shape have 3 sides? No. Does the shape have 4 sides? No. And then, because we said no, then we would place it in box B. This was simple and straightforward. All right, let's try and see if we can create one for ourselves now. You're in a store to buy a pair of shoes. You are now talking to the attendant. We want you to design a simple flow chart for buying the pair of shoes. Okay? So here are some questions for you. How do you start? What's the symbol that we use for start? And then, what is the process? What decisions will you need to make? How do you know to show stop? And how do you show the flow? So let's look at going to start. Let's start. That's our start. What's our process symbol? Yes, that's a rectangle. The decision symbol, the stop symbol, and then the arrows. Okay? All right, so let's start doing our flow chart. So we're going to do it on the board. So we're going to draw our start symbol, and you write start. And then, what's the process? So you're going to ask a question. You're going to ask the attendant to bring you a pair of shoes. And this goes in the rectangle. And then you need a decision. Let's put on our arrows. What are the decisions that we need to make? Do you want this one? Do you want it? That's our diamond. Suppose you decide no. Arrow. Then you go back and ask for another pair of shoes. Okay? Suppose you decide on yes. What now? You pay for the shoes. Okay? And then we could do stop. Okay? So notice the shapes. Sorry, the stop shape should be different. The start and stop. The process. Ask for the shoes. Decision. Do you want it? If you don't want that one, then you get another pair, and then you pay for the shoe. Okay? All right? Let's look at a flow chart that is closer to mathematics. All right, suppose we go back to the think of a number question. Think of a number. and double it. And then add 5. And then a decision. Do another 1. So let us look at how we would put this. We'd need to put our start. Arrow, arrow, rectangle, 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 because these are processes. Do another, that would be decision. Okay? And then the last part is just data entry. Write the numbers. So we're going to actually do this. Think of a number. Let us say we think of a number 4. Double it. Add 5. And then write the numbers. So that would be 4 and 13. That would be our answer. Okay? Let's do another one. Think of a number. So our first ordered pair is 4 and 13. 4, 13. Let's try another one. Think of a number. Let's think of 7. Double it, 14. Add 5, 19. And we are not going to do any more. So our answer is 7 and 19. I would like to switch around the process though. I'd like to change this so I'm now going to add 5 and then double. Okay? And I'm going to try it with the same set of numbers that we had a while ago. Let's see if the order makes sense, if the order is different. Okay? Think of a number, so we're thinking of 4 this time. Add 5. So that will give us 9. Double 9, and we get 18. So for our different approach, when we reverse the process, we get 4 and 18. Let's try 7. Think of a number. 7. Add 5, 7 and 5, 12. Double 12, we get 24. So 7 is now 24. So you see how flowchart is useful to us so that we can organize and know what to do. The order of operation in mathematics are significant and important. So you can't change the order. And a flowchart can help you in your math class so that you don't reverse the order. Do things in the proper order. Mathematics has order that we do things. Numbers are done in a particular order. We multiply usually before we add or subtract. That's all the time we have for today.